This is KGW News at noon.
Just in here at noon, the Washington County Sheriff's Office has just released the name of the deputy who was shot while serving an eviction notice earlier this week. This is Civil Deputy Charles Doze. He's a 10-year veteran of the Sheriff's Office. Deputy Doze is still in the hospital with serious but stable injuries. He's actually one of 5 civil deputies at the Sheriff's Office. They handle things like serving legal paperwork and enforcing court orders. He was shot by 34-year-old Christopher James Graves. It happened Wednesday morning at the Forest Rim Apartments in Tualatin. About 2 hours after Deputy Doze was shot, Graves was found dead inside his apartment. It's still not clear, though, whether officers shot him or he shot himself. Next up this afternoon, a look at the largest fentanyl bust ever in Multnomah County. The Sheriff's Office just released these photos from a seizure earlier this week. Thanks for joining us here at noon. I'm Drew Carney. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office also says this single bust kept thousands of pills from being sold. So this all started on Tuesday when police arrested a wanted man in the Goose Hollow neighborhood of Southwest Portland. They got a search warrant for his car and apartment, and this is what they found: 58,000 pills in bags, 16 pounds of fentanyl powder, scales, 2 pill presses, $5,000 in cash, and a handgun. The 16 pounds of powder, by the way, could have been turned into another 80,000 pills. And the street value of all this is somewhere in the ballpark of $320,000. We expect to find out today if Governor Tina Kotek will veto a bill that will allow Oregon drivers to pump their own gas. So far, the governor has refused to answer the question of whether she'll sign it, not sign it, or veto it. So if she does sign it, drivers in Oregon will have a choice: either pump their own gas or do it the way it's been done for decades here in Oregon and have a gas station attendant fill the tank for them. Back in 2015, when Governor Kotek was Speaker of the House, she did sign off on a similar bill that allowed smaller communities in Oregon to have self-serve gas.
We have had at least 2 bills prior to this one that kind of has moved us towards self-service in certain parts of the state. So I'm trying to understand, is this the right next step, and is there support for it?
Again, this could go one of 3 ways. If the governor signs the bill, it takes effect immediately. If she doesn't sign it, it actually becomes law next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. And if she vetoes the bill, it'll go back to the legislature, where a 2/3 majority would have to override that veto. Portland fire crews, meanwhile, had a busy night responding to a pair of brush fires in the span of 2 hours. This is video from the first one around 9 o'clock last night along Northeast Marine Drive at 112th Avenue. It burned almost a mile of brush before crews got it under control. The second fire happened an hour later near I-84 at the 102nd Avenue off-ramp. That one burned grass and trees and a homeless camp, and it also threatened homes on the hillside above the freeway. Firefighters put that second fire out by 11:15, and they told us no one was hurt. All right, it is Friday here on the News at Noon. Rod Hill standing by now in our weather center. Give us that weekend outlook, Rodney.
Yeah, my part of the newscast, really all good news. We continue to be in a very comfortable weather pattern for this time of late July, and continue to show pretty comfortable weather into the weekend itself. Here's our Schnickwins Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. Some folks out there enjoying beautiful sunshine. This is one of the earlier spots to clear out. If you go up to Astoria, it's still overcast. We are expecting some clearing this afternoon. 66, that's not too bad though, is the actual temperature at the airport there. And you can tell the bricks are getting sunshine in downtown Portland. And here's the view of the city from across the Willamette. Not early temperature, but the noontime temperature, 71. That's pretty much right where we've been, within a degree or two the last couple of noon hours. So here is your weekend. No rain chance, morning clouds at the coast, afternoon sun, maybe some early clouds in the valley, especially Sunday morning, but mainly sunny. 66 to 73 is your coast temperature range. 80 to 85 will be your valley temperature range. Again, that's pretty much right where we have been. Here we are this afternoon, by the way. 85 in Portland, 86 in Salem, about 70 in Tillamook. It is warm out east. Temperatures are in the 90s. We'll have your complete 7-day, of course, coming up.
All right, Rod, we'll check back in with you in 10 minutes, but now back to some of our local headlines. A Vancouver police officer is facing an assault charge after pulling down a suspect's pants and threatening to use a taser on his genitals. We are going to show you the body camera footage from this, and it comes with a warning that some of you may find it hard to watch. So this happened back in May when 2 officers stopped a man accused of shoplifting at a Walmart. Police say the man jumped up as they tried to handcuff him, punching one officer in the face and kicking the other in the chest. Once they got him back on the ground, Officer Andrea Mendoza tased the man's back, pulled down his pants, and threatened to use that taser on his genitals.
Knock it off or I'll do it in your nuts. I will die.
I'm done.
Again, this happened back in May, but the assault charge wasn't filed until just this week. And then late last night, Vancouver's police chief released a video statement.
The actions of the officer who deployed the taser in this video are disturbing. I want to emphasize to the community that my expectation is that at all times, our personnel serve the public with professionalism, compassion, and respect.
Officer Mendoza has been on administrative leave since this happened. Our next story this afternoon comes from Independence, Oregon. The parents of a 2-year-old daughter say the girl was struck by a falling bullet at a 4th of July celebration in Independence, and now they're pleading for the person responsible to come forward. KGW's Alma McCarty met up with the parents at a park in Albany.
On a holiday like the 4th of July, what better place to celebrate than the town of Independence, Oregon?
You know, it's so safe and that'll be great. And we were having a really nice day together.
Samantha and Zach took their 2-year-old daughter for a day full of fun, knowing she'd especially love the fireworks display, having seen the spectacle a year prior.
She just went nuts. She was like every 2 seconds, wow, wow, just like over and just a little 1-year-old, tiny voice, wow.
But this year, on the walk back to the car, something struck the child sitting in her wagon on Monmouth Street between 2nd and Main.
I just saw her body stiffen and I didn't know what was happening. Once she got her breath back, she started to scream, and I've never heard her scream like that before.
Samantha recalls the next moments, a nurse running over to help, a frantic dash to the car, the ride to the hospital.
They got her back right away and started working on her, and as they were tearing her clothes off to get access to everything, the bullet fell out of her pajama pants, and the way that it hit the bed, it replays in my nightmares.
A bullet from shots fired into the air rained down and hit her daughter in the leg, just above the knee.
And they broke her spirit and they traumatized our family. And it's not possible to put into words what we've been feeling since then.
Independence police are actively investigating what they're calling the negligent discharge of a firearm. No arrests at this time. These parents, still reeling from the incident, hope someone will step up and take responsibility for their actions in order for them to feel safe again.
Shooting into the air in a crowded city, even if you think you were towards, the end, city limits or whatever, puts everybody around you within miles in immediate and unpredictable peril.
They're deadly weapons. They can be used safely, and if they're used safely, no one gets hurt. If you're stupid with it, you're going to hurt someone, you're going to kill someone.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Brian Kohberger's attorney is asking the court to dismiss the grand jury indictment against him. Kohberger is the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students last fall. His attorney claims the prosecution failed to follow the grand jury process as laid out in Idaho law. Earlier this week, Kohberger's defense team also suggested he was not in Moscow at the time of the murders. His attorney says his formal alibi will be shared during the trial, which, by the way, is scheduled to start on October 2nd.